All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT April 13th, 2021 review. There's some good things about this episode. There were some bad things about this episode, I have to say. But overall, this was not a bad show. It had some nice slow build moving forward. We got some shots that were made. There were some wrestlers that called their shots at world titles on the show, which was quite amazing. And there was actually a title change on NXT here tonight, which was surprising to see. The first thing that took place here was Karrion Kross. That was the first thing you saw on your television set. He pretty much stated he fought his way back to becoming the world champion on NXT. He has no plans on dropping the title anytime soon. His attitude about the whole saying, when you make it to the top, there's only one way to go, and that's going down. And he says that is a lie. He plans on staying at the top forever until he deems it's time for him to step down. Folks, this is the new Asuka in a male wrestler. That's what Karrion Kross is. Karrion Kross, I don't see losing that title at all, staying undefeated the entire time he's in NXT, and he will drop the title when he is ready to be moved up to the main roster, which God help us all, unless it's on SmackDown to face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. I don't give a flying fuck about him leaving NXT. I don't want to see that happen. I don't care if he's going to Raw. I don't want to see him moving from NXT to Monday Night Raw at all. As long as he's world champion on NXT, that is where he needs to stay. Unless you're moving him to SmackDown while Roman Reigns is Universal Champion. Karrion Kross is the guy you can build on. And guess what, folks? A long time ago, I was watching Impact Wrestling when Karrion Kross was Killer Kross. And I said, this guy is a franchise for Impact Wrestling. He is no different now, part of the WWE roster. This guy could become one of the best. He's kind of old, though. I think he's in his 30s or so. I think 35 possibly. But this guy has got it. He's got the attitude. He's got the intensity. And he has pure wrestling ability as well as fighting ability. He has training in different types of skill sets. Judo, jiu-jitsu, all kinds of shit. This guy is not some fucking pushover. This guy is a fucking true legit fighter. He's a guy that I could see as the next Undertaker without being the dead man type of gimmick. This guy's gimmick, I'll say this much. He's a lot of theatrical shit. His entrance is all theatrical, but he doesn't portray a supernatural being. His girlfriend, Scarlett Bordeaux, she's a little different. She's very out there, kind of weird, like a Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss type of thing, but not to the extent of what they're doing on WWE television. So I'm not going to go that far, but she does have that kind of look to her. But at the end of the day, she and him are a great combo. She could, you could humanize her, do whatever the fuck you want with her, as long as you keep Karrion Kross the way he is right now as an ass-kicking machine. I have no problems with that. That I really do not have an issue with. But, bottom line, There ain't nobody that should be taking the title off of Karrion Kross. He is a Roman Reigns on NXT. And this guy could play a face too if people were chanting his name. People were cheering for him and he was acknowledging their cheers. He wasn't shitting on them. He wasn't talking trashy to them. He was acknowledging their cheers and their acknowledgement that he's one of the best. And he appreciated. He also was very considerate and respectful and professional to Finn Balor. He said that Finn Balor is one of the best NXT performers in this business. And he said that even though he won, he gave him a fight for his money. And he respects him, and I guess you could say they're not really enemies. They're just competitive with each other over a championship. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to put them in a tag team match for one night just to have some competition with two guys that they're rivaling against, you could definitely see that happen and them get along type of thing. I think that. And truth of the matter is they were put in a tag team match for tag team titles, and things were not going that bad for them until Finn Balor accidentally whacked into Cross's girlfriend / wife, I should say. But overall, they have a lot of respect for each other, which is very good. I can see Karrion Kross being a face, but the type of face that is an anti-hero type of character, not a full-fledged face where he's smiling and all that shit. No. Karrion Kross does never... excuse me, I fucked up what I was trying to say. Karrion Kross should never be smiling, ever. This guy should be pure intensity, 24/7, like all the old school wrestlers used to do back in the day. This guy is legit badass. You don't change the character. I don't care if the fans like him, hate him, whatever. It doesn't matter if the fans like him or not. You don't alter the character. It's that simple. It's that easy. You can make this character whichever way you want. As long as you stick with what you got with him, I don't care if the fans cheer him, boo him, or whatever. Either way, it works. It doesn't matter. He could be whatever you want him to be. A good guy, a bad guy. It doesn't make a difference. As long as his character's the same, that's all that matters. And he pretty much said that line them up and he'll knock them all down with their heads decapitated, basically, from their bodies. Great way to end the promo. And that was pretty much that overall. They kept announcing that Stand and Deliver was the most watched NXT TakeOver show of all time. Well, let's think about it, folks. They were on for 2 nights in a row. They had 2 events that took place. Why wouldn't it be the most watched NXT TakeOver event that ever took place? Of course it's going to be. What a bunch of bullshit. So we had the NXT Tag Team titles with Killian Dane and Drake Maverick versus MSK. MSK actually wins this match with an up and down finishing maneuver. I forgot what the hell they call it. Who gives a shit? They hit they won with their finishing tag team maneuver. And that was pretty much that. The match wasn't all that bad to kickstart the show. I actually enjoyed it. But again, I will say this. What is the point? I don't know if I ever said this, but I was thinking this. Why is Killian Dane and Drake Maverick getting tag team title opportunity at all? I know they won a number 1 contendership, but my God, there was a tag team title match that took place at the fucking pay-per-view that they just recently crowned, and now you're going to make them defend it a few days afterwards? And not to mention, Killian Dane and Drake Maverick are a legit tag team. Don't get me wrong. I've been watching the show I haven't been watching the show very much, but let's get real here. Where the hell do they deserve a title shot? Come on. I know they won a number one contenders match, but still, there shouldn't even have been a number one contenders match with them in it. That was a fucking joke. So after the match, MSK stands tall in the middle of the ring with their titles as Dane and Drake recover. We go to replays. MSK continues celebrating on the stage now. Dane is checking on Drake with Alexander. When Alexander Wolf enters the ring, Marcel Bartel and Fabian Aichner actually attack Dane from behind as fans boo them. Wolf watches as they double team Dane and laying him out in the middle of the ring. Imperium then does their signature pose in the middle of the ring at that point, standing over Dane as the music hits. There was no sign of NXT UK champion Walter, as he has returned to the UK following the takeover win over Tommaso Ciampa. I gotta say, I've heard on JD's podcast, the only guy that should ever take the title from Karrion Kross should be Walter in a title-for-title unification match. I'm going to say I disagree. I don't think Walter needs or has to face Karrion Kross for the NXT World Championship whatsoever. I don't think these two guys should intertwine with each other at all. I don't think the UK and the NXT World titles should be unified, or even just a title-for-title match for the sake of putting two titles on the line to make history or anything like that. I don't think that is really necessary. I don't think that you should put these two guys in the risk of one of them losing. I think they should both be dominant in their own brand, and that is it. Walter needs to continue on kicking everyone's ass, and Karrion Kross needs to do the same in NXT until they are ready to move him up to the main roster, which, like I said, if he's not going to SmackDown, he better not be leaving NXT, because he'll be fucked at that point. So that's just my attitude on that. But yeah, Karrion Kross, Walter match, don't like the idea. I think they should both be dominant. If you put them both in a match together, you're not going to be able to have that anymore. One's going to have to lose to the other. I don't like the idea. I think Karrion Kross deserves to walk out of NXT as the world champion and drop the title, and no one beats him like they did with Asuka. Plain and simple. We see footage from earlier today of Aliyah and Robert Stone talking about NXT Women's Tag Team titles, which, who the fuck cares? Mercedes Martinez walks up and wants the rest of her money that he owed her before, which I didn't know. Starts grabbing Aliyah by the throat and chokes her. And the sounds that Aliyah was making was such a horrible, horrible sound. I mean, literally, she sounded like she was gagging on a dick. Not sounding like she was being choked out. I mean, like, she sounded like she was coughing. She sounded like she had something in her mouth, choking her to death. Whatever. It sounded terrible. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, it was really god-awful. Horrible sell on that. That was trash. Didn't even like it whatsoever. But yeah, then all of a sudden, this chick, Jessie Camilla, interrupts and makes the save. Camilla and Martinez face off in the hallway. Martinez asks Camilla if she wants to step up to her, and she says she'd actually like to step on her instead. Martinez says, "We will see later tonight," and she walks off, and that's it on that. Later on that night, Mercedes Martinez beats the shit out of her and wins anyway, so not big of a deal right there. So back from the break, we see footage from the match that took earlier. We actually see footage of earlier today of Roderick Strong and his wife, Mana Shafir, arriving in the building, and the announcers show us a look back at the Kyle O'Reilly defeating Adam Cole in the unsanctioned match at TakeOver Night 2. We also see post footage of them being wheeled into the emergency room. And you hear Adam Cole saying a bunch of fucking cuss words at fucking Kyle O'Reilly. He's saying, I'm gonna fuck you up. This isn't over. You're a piece of shit. And blah, blah, blah. And he's just saying all these fucking cuss words out the ass. And he is freaking outrageous. This is not over. I am telling you guys, this match is going to take place. It will be sanctioned. And this match will be a last man standing match. Loser leaves NXT. There's no more room for either one of these two guys. You are definitely going to see these guys tearing each other apart some more with the upcoming weeks leading into the next takeover, whenever that may be, here and there, on and off through some of the episodes. And you're going to see these two guys tear each other some more. And it's going to be brutal. These two guys did this shit back in Ring of Honor, and they were terrific. They really went back and forth. I think they had like 3 or 4 wars over that Ring of Honor World Championship, and most of their matches were very good. So you guys will definitely be seeing this match take place. This time it's going to be sanctioned, and this time it's going to be taking place in a last man standing match. Loser leaves NXT. That's basically it. Adam Cole's going to lose again, and Adam Cole is going to move on to the main roster at some point. And that's all there really is to it for Adam Cole. I don't see Adam Cole really doing much after this. I don't think he's going to stay on NXT. I think this is his goodbye, Adam Cole. This match was just a prelude to what's going to happen in the future for these two guys, and it's going to lead to him losing, and Adam Cole's going off to the main roster to go die. I heard Damian Priest lost last night on Raw with JD's podcast from New York 206, stating that Damian Priest lost to John Morrison and The Miz in a handicap match where his pants were ripped off and he was wearing nothing but boxers in a roll-up pin. Are you fucking kidding me? You just had this guy perform at WrestleMania live in front of people, and then you're going to have him lose with his boxers and his pants off? Why didn't you just have him make him run around in a thong for all we know, man? What a bunch of fucking idiots. You gotta take NXT talent and turn them into shit, like always. This is why I can't watch Monday Night Raw and review it for you guys. SmackDown's a little bit different. We get some moments where we get some decent episodes. Sometimes they're really piss poor, but at least we get some decent episodes here and there that are worth watching, especially anything with Roman Reigns is well worth watching now that he's got this heel run that he's been doing, and he's been doing great with it. So watching SmackDown and reviewing it for me is not that bad thing for me, and I can always have fun when they show a shit episode and just shit all over it and have a blast ranting about it. I have to admit, I enjoy ranting on these videos. I've had a couple of people, make comments and say I cut really good rants on WWE. I've had a couple of them before, and I enjoy doing it sometimes when it's well-deserved. But yeah, SmackDown I would enjoy to review week to week for you guys, because at least they give us some decent episodes here and there, so I can have moments where I can talk about something that's positive, and when they're bad, I can rant and rave about it throughout the entire episode of the review. So it's well worth my time to do that than Monday Night Raw. Raw is just always terrible. There's never nothing put into it to make it entertaining to watch. So who gives a shit? All right, mentioned Mercedes Martinez defeats Jessie Kamea in this matchup, and she gets paid at the end. So whoop-de-fuck-you-do. Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with The Way. Johnny Gargano says NXT General Manager William Regal is trying to mess with them by putting them in the ring tonight for this 8-person match, but they will show the world the way to handle business, as they will be able in the ring. Sorry, I screwed up. As they will be in the ring together for the first time. Austin Theory says he will play no games with Dexter Lumis tonight and will teach him a lesson. Candice LeRae says Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart got lucky at TakeOver, but she and Indy Hartwell will handle business tonight as well. Indy comments on being in the ring with Lumis so she can handle her own business. She's got some sort of factuation of Dexter Lumis, which I don't particularly like that. What the hell is Dexter Lumis doing with a chick? He doesn't need to be doing nothing with no woman. Sorry. He needs to be a fucking mean-ass motherfucker while not saying a goddamn word. What is he going to do with some chick? Being with a woman's going to humanize him. He doesn't need to be humanized. He needs to stay silent and deadly, like a deadly fart, only he doesn't stink. He's a good wrestler. I remember him back in Impact Wrestling with a horrible fucking gimmick. Very creepy gimmick with him in Impact Wrestling. I don't remember the actual character name that he went by, but the character here he's portraying is very good in the sense that he doesn't need to talk. He does drawing to display his feelings, or trying to, cut a promo through a drawing, which is very unique and different for any performer for that matter. I don't know if he's the one who actually draws these images or if it's done by a actual professional, but whatever the case may be, I kind of think it's a unique way of cutting a promo. Instead of talking, just draw what you feel. That kind of thing. So, this whole thing with him having an attraction towards a woman and a woman having an attraction towards him seems pretty fucking weird and out of character for Dexter Lumis. At least from what I'm used to seeing from him. So, everyone is not happy to hear that, and Gargano says the only business to be handled tonight is showing everyone that The Way is the most dominant 4-person intergender group in NXT history. I think they're the only faction with 2 females and 2 males out of anybody in NXT, so whatever. Anyway, they rally together before walking off, but Theory goes the wrong way at first. Yeah. Make Austin Theory come across like a dipshit on national television as one of the weaklings of their group. Terrific. Good job, WWE. Austin Theory is a guy that's a diamond in the rough that no one is paying attention to. They are treating him like shit because of an accusation that was made, and they're basically punishing the guy, I would assume, from the whole accusation and issue, or they're afraid to push him because something else might come up, and they're trying to avoid from anything happening until they know full well everything is going well with him legally in his personal life. So, I don't know. Personally, I don't care. If that's the situation, then I guess, yeah, they're doing the right thing. But at the same time, if there's nothing going on with him, and if there is an issue that they're worried about, why the fuck you got him on TV at all? I don't see Velveteen Dream on TV anymore. I think the guy disappeared and went off to Never Neverland. I mean, the guy's career, to me, is dead, Velveteen Dream. I haven't heard anything about him. I don't know what's going on with that case situation. But, yeah. So, we had Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight Champion, do a impromptu Cruiserweight Championship match. It was actually an invitational or open challenge, if you would like to call it that instead. Kushida was the challenger for the Cruiserweight Championship. I was saying to my good old buddy, in text, I said to him, dude, I don't know about this. This is pretty fucked up. They got Kushida challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship. He just lost to Pete Dunne and all that, and you're going to book him in a match with fucking Santos Escobar, who just came off of a ladder match to crown himself as the undisputed champion. There's no more other champions. It's just him alone, and that's it. And he wins. Kushida wins the match and becomes the new Cruiserweight Champion. Now, at first, I was really happy for him. At the same time, I'm saying to myself, why'd they just take the title off of Santos Escobar? He just won a fucking really, well, not really good ladder match, but it was an average Joe match. Like I said in the review for night, I believe it was night 2. Yeah, night 2. It was a spot match. It wasn't really all that great of a ladder match. It had some good spots here and there that made it somewhat entertaining, but nothing really special came of it, in my opinion. And then you have him become the undisputed champion to ultimately lose to Kushida. All right, my question is this: why didn't Jordan Devlin win the fucking Cruiserweight title and become the undisputed champion instead? I mean, this is so goddamn stupid. I mean, Kushida winning the title, I was actually rather surprised. I thought it was kind of nice to see him as Cruiserweight champion, finally getting a little bit of credibility. After the match was over and he went backstage, he actually had a backstage segment of him being congratulated by William Regal and saying he had a terrific match with Santos Escobar. He thanked him for that. And then Jordan Devlin came in and pretty much issued a challenge to him for his Cruiserweight title in the future. I'm saying to myself, you just lost. You fucking lost. What the hell are you challenging for the Cruiserweight title? You had an opportunity to become an undisputed champion. You lost. How the hell does that work? Unless they're going to have him start winning matches again, get him on a winning streak for a couple of weeks leading into the next takeover event. If they're doing that kind of thing, I'm okay with that. But if they just announce he's the next challenger for the Cruiserweight title without earning any wins before that, I'm going to have a big fucking problem with that. Seems a little fucked up. They might as well should have just given the fucking title to him instead of Santos Escobar, because Escobar fucking lost the damn title immediately after becoming the new undisputed champion of the Cruiserweight division. Fucking retarded. Alright, so Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher are backstage now. Now, they're pretty much a legit tag team, from what I'm getting from this promo. They want to go after tag team gold. Their goals were set out. They are ready to go. They are wanting to commit to the goal, which is to become the tag team champions. And they are moving forward and winning the tag team titles. My attitude on this: Timothy Thatcher, good technician wrestler, but his match is very dull. Tommaso Ciampa, though, very good and very entertaining. Timothy Thatcher benefits a lot more than Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa's got to do most of the legwork in the entertainment department for us as fans. Now, Timothy Thatcher's got the wrestling down. He's very good at wrestling, but his character is just, in the ring, is just very bland. I've never had a problem with Timothy Thatcher. I think he's a great wrestler. I like watching his in-ring wrestling ability. But you also have to have some sort of excitement to your to what you do in the ring, he doesn't deliver that. That's the one problem about him that I think people have with Timothy Thatcher. He's just very bland. There's nothing exciting about him in the ring. He's just a very technician wrestler, and that's it. So that's just my beliefs on how people feel about him overall. I think he's a good wrestler, but I understand where people are coming from when they say that they find him very boring. I don't think he really connects very well with the crowd because he's more of that legit, real fighting, combat, sports athlete type of wrestler in the ring. And sometimes in real combat sports, they're not always entertaining. Sometimes they're very boring and they're going to do what they got to do to win. And that's what I kind of get from Timothy Thatcher. I can relate to Timothy Thatcher. I like his character. But at the end of the day, you also have to entertain the majority. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to be. With a guy like Tommaso Ciampa, I could definitely see them putting the tag team titles on them. And pretty much Timothy Thatcher's, hanging on to Tommaso Ciampa's coattails. That's really all this is, in my personal opinion. So what else? So we go back to the ring, and Dakota Kai has a mic. She introduces the new NXT Women's Champion, and out comes Raquel Gonzalez to a pop. Now, I got a problem with this. I know I'm saying I got a problem with this, I got a problem with that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying the show is bad. I'm just critiquing some of the decisions that they went with here. You got Raquel Gonzalez as an NXT Women's Champion. Great. Wonderful. Dakota Kai, though, is basically a sidekick now. She wanted to be the woman that becomes a world champion in NXT. She's challenged for it, I think, once or twice. Hasn't won once yet. But Raquel Gonzalez does it on her first attempt. At least I think so. I'm not sure. Maybe she competed for it a couple of times before her first big win. But I don't think so. I think this was the first time she ever got the title. She gets the championship over Dakota Kai. And Dakota Kai is now playing a sidekick to Raquel Gonzalez. You people know exactly what is coming. It's going to come. It's going to take a slow burn. They're going to give this woman, Raquel Gonzalez, some good title defenses. She's got Mercedes Martinez already after her. She's claiming the rights after the women's championship. You got fucking what's her face, Frankie Monte. She came out, formerly known as Taya Valkyrie from Impact Wrestling. She's now finally appeared on NXT television, who's married to John Morrison. And I gotta be quite frank with you guys. I would like to see her tied with John Morrison and them being on television together as a combo. Both of them wrestlers, but also both of them being managers to the other when they're performing in the ring. They used to do that in Impact Wrestling. I absolutely loved that shit. I thought them being as a power couple, owning 2 championships, John Morrison with the world title, her with the Knockouts championship, I thought that was really cool. I think that's something they should do here. Get John Morrison away from The Miz and put Frankie, I think Frankie Monette, whatever the fuck her name is, how you pronounce her last name, or Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet is her name. I keep pronouncing it Frankie Monette because of the T, and I'm thinking it's supposed to be pronounced, but it's not. It's just Frankie Monet. I think Frankie Monet and John Morrison being together would be fucking awesome. I think that would be kind of cool. And seeing them both be wrestlers but also managers to each other when the other is performing, I think that would be an awesome idea. Her on the main roster right now, I think, is a bad idea until she gets her feet wet in NXT for a little while. I see her maybe staying for a full year and then moving into the main roster afterwards. And that's basically it. But yeah, she makes her challenge. She's basically going to show up every single Tuesday night, keeping an eye on Raquel Gonzalez. I think she's going to beat Frankie Monet in a one-on-one match for that women's championship at some point. And Dakota Kai is going to eventually turn on her and win the NXT Women's Championship and finally have her reign as women's champion. I think that is the right way to go. Mercedes Martinez would be a great opponent for her to defeat. I think those two will have a great matchup. And Frankie Monet probably will have a good matchup with Raquel Gonzalez as well. If you can come up, Io Shirai, she's another opponent I would definitely have her defend the title against. That was a good matchup. I mean, I didn't speak highly of it in the sense of world champion main event type of material. I felt it was a good match, but I didn't think it needed to be the main event. But at the end of the day, and of everything else that we saw on NXT, it was probably the fourth best match out of everything else on the card, which isn't bad out of all the other matches that we had on the card. I think we had like 9 or 10 matches, so they're in the top 5 at least. But bottom line, she's got quite a few contenders she can defend that title against leading up to the loss of her championship to Dakota Kai, but I think Dakota Kai is the one that needs to take the title off of Raquel Gonzalez and win. And if you don't want her to win clean, that's fine with me. Dakota Kai is half her fucking size of Raquel Gonzalez, so you might as well have Dakota Kai win by cheating. I mean, I would imagine that would be the right way to go. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that promo. I mean, there was mentions about her being happy. Chants were coming out of by the fans saying that she deserves it, and she was thanking the audience. She's coming across as well as a face, not as a heel, which is another reason why I kind of feel like Dakota Kai is going to become jealous within the next couple of months. By like SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure that's when the turn is going to happen. Maybe a little bit later than that. Maybe we'll give it to like the fall, like October or something like that. If they want to go that far. I mean, I would be okay with that too, giving her some time to get through some opponents, defend the title, have a memorable and reasonable title reign as NXT Women's Champion, and then eventually have her drop the title to Dakota Kai. After a little back and forth bullshit that happened between Frankie Monet and Raquel Gonzalez, we had Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair show up to congratulate her, and they all three showed off with their women's championships that they just recently won over the WrestleMania weekend. And they had a picture posed in the back behind them showing the three of them that when they were backstage together, when they were all three of them in NXT. So apparently these women are all good friends. So that was pretty much that whole segment there. We get Pete Dunne talking about how he defeated Kushida and proved he's one of the best technician wrestlers in the world in professional wrestling. Now his goal is to set his sights on the NXT World Championship. Folks, I am okay with a Pete Dunne versus Karrion Kross as long as Karrion Kross wins. That match would be a fucking awesome match to watch. I think Pete Dunne and him and Karrion Kross would put on an awesome match. All right, so back from the break, we get a video package with various praising Sarai. She's a Japanese wrestler that's now been signed by NXT. Really highly liked Japanese professional wrestler. And that was pretty much it from that promo video. She seems pretty good. She reminds me a little of Asuka. Or Io Shirai, technically, in my opinion. But I wonder how far she's going to go in WWE. So, Roderick Strong shows up with his wife in Regal's office. And Strong hands Regal an envelope of papers and says he's done. Regal says Strong was a pain at times in dealing with the Undisputed Era, but Strong is a professional and will be welcome back in NXT at any time, and they shake hands, and that's that. So I'm not sure, is this, even when I was watching it, I was a little confused. Is he retired from WWE, from professional wrestling completely, or is this just part of a storyline? I'm not quite sure. If anyone has a answer on that, please leave a comment down below on that about Roderick Strong, because I'm not quite sure what the fuck that was, but I hope he's not retiring. He was very good in Undisputed Era. Maybe he is retiring because you don't see anything else for him to do at this point, and he pretty much wants to spend it with his wife, which I wouldn't blame him. He's been wrestling for a long time anyway. So Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott took place. This match was very good. Very good match. The match went back and forth for about 15 minutes, a little bit over the amount of time I think it should have done, because the main event for the 8-man tag team matchup didn't take place until 9:52. I'm like, are they going to give these guys some time to actually perform? Are we going to get an overlap of NXT tonight or something? Because they ain't given this enough time to actually be a good match for an 8-man tag team match. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Leon Ruff loses this match to Isaiah Swerve Scott, thank God. Later on in the show, though, just before the main event, Isaiah Swerve Scott gets attacked by Leon Ruff. And Leon Ruff says, "This is not over. I'm coming after you." And that was pretty much that. 8-man tag team match took place. That was the main event, like I just said. And the way he actually lost to Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, and Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I actually don't know how to feel about this. Johnny Gargano is your NXT North American champion, and his team is losing. Granted, he didn't lose. It was Bronson Reed pinning Austin Theory. Now, Indy Hartwell had the attraction towards Dexter Lumis. And again, as I already mentioned earlier in this review, I don't particularly like the idea that he is having interactions with this chick, or any other chick for that matter, because it really humanizes this guy, and I don't want to hear him talk. I want to see him kick ass and be kind of creepy without the dark satanic bullshit that they've been doing lately with some of these characters. I mean, Jesus Christ, you want to make them outrageous and different. You don't have to make satanic imagery or fucking symbols just to do that. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. But anyway, Lumis ends up grabbing Indy Hartwell and dragging her out of the ring and carrying her off to the backstage area. I don't know whether to take her in a locker room and have his way with her, or just to do whatever. I don't know. Pretty fucking stupid in my opinion. But yeah, she and him trail off in Never Neverland. She gives a thumbs up to the camera guy and is all happy and gives a wink, I believe. And that's pretty much that. The match overall wasn't that bad. Dexter Lumis didn't do a whole lot. I don't see Dexter Lumis getting involved in the North American Championship anytime soon, which is kind of a disappointment. I kind of wish he was competing over the NXT North American title and actually became the champion. Bronson Reed won this match. I do believe we're going to see another match between Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed once again in the next TakeOver event that happens. I don't know when that's going to be. But overall, it was a decent main event. Nothing to cry home about. I mean, if you're getting crazy over an 8-man tag team match, there's something wrong with you. I hate these fucking multi-man tag team matches. They're just fucking nuts. And not everyone gets the right amount of airtime to show off their stuff in the ring. So, it's whatever. Personally, though, NXT wasn't a bad show. Like I said, there was some questionable decisions that they did, such as the Cruiserweight Championship. I kind of felt if you're going to go ahead and give the title to Santos Escobar, why wouldn't you have him retain the title after he won and became the undisputed champion, ultimately lose to Kushida? I mean, it's just fucking dumb. And then have the former champion, who was the legit champion, losing in a undisputed title match to ultimately be able to challenge for the Cruiserweight title. That was a little stupid, in my opinion. Everything else, I mean, there was a few things here and there you could say was bad. But overall, this was not a bad show at all. This was a decent NXT episode. It felt a little bit more like the old NXT that we were used to. But still, there's some things here and there that we are seeing that is spliced in with the other stuff they were doing when they started on the USA Network. So it's a give and take type of situation. There's certain things you'll like about it, certain things you won't like about it. Mostly of everything that was shown on this episode, I was pretty satisfied with what I saw. But I go back and watch it, probably not. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was at least decent enough where it wasn't going to make you go, why the fuck did they decide to do this? The one good thing that's going on in NXT that I am enjoying is Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. What they are doing with Adam Cole is a great thing. They're making him go out in a bang. Yes, he's probably going to lose in their next matchup in a loser leaves NXT situation possibly. But at the end of the day, guys, I definitely see good quality television is going to come out of this storyline. So keep an eye out for that, guys. But at this time, I am pretty much done with my review. You guys can leave your comments down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you're not already... hit the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Pretty much our schedule here is going to be NXT on Tuesday nights, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday nights, possibly Impact Wrestling on Saturday night, and SmackDown on Friday night as it usually airs. So those are the 4 episodes I will probably be reviewing every single week. There's a slight chance that Impact will be taken off of my schedule. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how I do with it. I've missed the last 2 episodes. So if you guys are heavily into Impact Wrestling, I do apologize to you guys. But personally, I needed a break from some wrestling. So especially with WrestleMania this past week. My God, 4 fucking wrestling shows in 1 week, and it was all WWE pay-per-view related stuff. Fucking crazy. Then I had to review AEW Dynamite on top of it. But anyway, guys, I am all talked out. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course. Leave a comment down below, and hit the like button if you liked the video. And I thank you again, guys, for watching. Have a great night.